बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। जी, ड्रेसिंग रूम में तो पहले माहौल काफ़ी अच्छा था, जिस तरह के हमारे परफॉर्मेंस हो रही क्रूशल क्रंच सिचुएशन में हम वो यूटिलाइज़ नहीं कर रहे थे, लेकिन आज जिस तरह की हमारी जीत मिली तो बहुत ज़्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस मिला है। तो इंशाल्लाह कोशिश करेंगे तो यही कॉन्फिडेंस अगले मैचेस में भी लेके जाएँ।
और वेन्यू में सपोर्ट भी आपके लिए बहुत था,
सॉरी,
सपोर्ट भी बहुत
या
था।
हाँ, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
लगता था कि पाकिस्तान
बिल्कुल पाकिस्तानी सपोर्ट बहुत ज़्यादा थी, तो उम्मीद करते हैं कि आगे भी ऐसे ही हमें सपोर्ट करते रहेंगे, क्योंकि अच्छा और बुरे वक्त में अगर सपोर्ट मिले तो काफ़ी मदद है।
शदाब, जैसे आमिर और वहाब कामयाब हो रहे थे तो लग रहा था कि पिच इज़ हेल्पिंग द फास्ट बॉलर्स, तो जब आपको ये नज़र आता है तो आप कितने कॉन्फिडेंस से आप जाते हैं, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली योर बॉलिंग इज़ डिफरेंट।
जी बिल्कुल डिफरेंट तो है, लेकिन अब जो जैसा मेरा रोल है मैं कोशिश यही करता हूँ कि मिडल में ओवर आउट करने का मेरा रोल है, तो मैं कोशिश यही करता हूँ कि किसी न किसी तरह अपनी वेरिएशन यूज़ करके बैट्समैनों को आउट करने की कोशिश करूँ।
अच्छा शादाब, जो न्यूजीलैंड के जो बैट्समैन हैं वो भी स्पिनर्स पे थोड़े से कमज़ोर हैं, उनकी जो हिस्ट्री है, तो उसको किस तरह एक्सप्लॉइट करने का आप सोच रहे हैं? कितना यानी इम्पोर्टेंट आपका रोल होगा उस मैच में भी?
जी बिल्कुल, हर मैच में मेरे ख्याल से रिस्ट स्पिनर का रोल इम्पोर्टेंट होता है, और जिस तरह का मेरे मेरे अब मिडल ओवर में आपको आउट करने की बहुत ज़रूरत होती है, तो उसमें मेरे हर मैच में ज़्यादा रोल होता है। और मेरे ख्याल से आजकल के क्रिकेट में ज़्यादातर सभी स्पिनर को अच्छा खेलते हैं, क्योंकि जैसी पिचेस हैं तो टर्न होता नहीं है, तो वो अच्छी खेलते हैं।
शदाब, फाफ और मिकी दोनों ये कह रहे थे कि कॉन्फिडेंस बड़ा रोल प्ले करता है क्रिकेट में, तो ये कॉन्फिडेंस जो आप लोगों ने साउथ अफ्रीका के खिलाफ दिखाई, वो कॉन्फिडेंस इंडिया के सामने नज़र क्यों नहीं आता?
नहीं, बिल्कुल वैसे ही कॉन्फिडेंस था। अब हार गए हैं तो वो कॉन्फिडेंस नज़र नहीं आ रहा, तो अगर जीतते तो वो आपको वही कॉन्फिडेंस नज़र आता।
शादाब, इंडिया के साथ जो मैच हो रहा था उसमें जब बारिश के दौरान आप फील कर रहे थे, चहल से आप बातें कर रहे थे, युजवेंद्र चहल से।
जी बिल्कुल।
काफ़ी उनसे लगता है अच्छे ताल्लुकात।
जी बिल्कुल सबके साथ ही अच्छे हैं, तो कोशिश ये करता हूँ कि जी बिल्कुल रिस्पेक्ट के साथ बातचीत तो करता रहता हूँ कि क्या करना चाहिए क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, तो एक दूसरे की हेल्प करते हैं, और उस दिन भी यही बातें हो रही।
सब लोग कॉन्फिडेंस के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, आपका टीम कैसे कॉन्फिडेंस मेंटेन कर रही है व्हेन देयर सो मच क्रिटिसिज्म?
जी बिल्कुल, ये तो मेंटली होता है, और मेंटली हम अल्लाह का शुक्र है, क्योंकि जिस तरह की हमारी परफॉर्मेंस है हम क्रूशियल सिचुएशन में नहीं जीत रहे, लेकिन जैसी परफॉर्मेंस है पीछे भी जो हारे भी हैं तो अच्छा लड़कों ने परफॉर्म किया है, एंड जो परफॉर्मेंस हो रही थी टीम परफॉर्मेंस पूरी उस तरह नहीं हो रही थी जिसकी वजह से रिजल्ट नहीं मिला, लेकिन कॉन्फिडेंस हमारा पहले भी हाई था और अल्लाह ताला का शुक्र है अब भी हाई है।
अच्छा शादाब, आपकी जो इंकिसारी है जो है वो आप हमेशा जो है बड़े इंकिसारी से रहते हैं। आपने कहा कि मैं सीखने की कोशिश करता हूँ दीगर बॉलर से, लेकिन आपके पास भी जो गुर हैं, तो आपसे भी कुछ मशवरे कुछ दूसरे बॉलर्स लेते हैं?
जी बिल्कुल, ये आपको मैंने पहले बताया, हम एक दूसरे को बताते रहते थे, एक दूसरे को मैं भी बताता रहता हूँ कि जो वो मेरे से पूछते हैं तो मैं भी कोशिश करता हूँ कि जो जैसे इमरान भाई हैं तो उनका फ्लिपर काफ़ी अच्छा है, तो मैं कोशिश करता हूँ कि उनका फ्लिपर सीखने की कोशिश करूँ।
Get to it. It's time for the US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US ready for the US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, we playing cricket, we playing cricket. Team of winners, team of winners, team of winners. Been hanging with winners since I was just a beginner. I'm hungry, feed me now, just bring it and go. Big trophies, loud crowds, fans around the globe. I done lost before, but see that's what made me grow. Now I'm ready. Got a champion heart, I got a champion soul, and I came to win. For that I lose it all. But US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US ready for the US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, we playing cricket, we playing cricket, we playing cricket. I came in to win, so I'm here for the fight. Got my T20 drink and I'm feeling real hype. I didn't come this far just to catch the next flight. Batter up first swing, 3 wickets, no strike. So I gotta win. All on the line, I gotta bid. They say hard work pay off, or something gotta give. Well, I know what I gotta give. my best because this time I gotta win. Time for the US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US ready for the US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, we playing cricket, we playing ready.
Both of you played a lot of games for South Africa. Have you ever seen a worse performance than today?
Probably harsh to say the worst performance ever, but frustrating. I feel keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Probably started off with the bowling. Our bowling has been one thing that's been working this tournament, and today a well below performance probably bar Emi was exceptional once again. But the rest of the guys, probably 5 out of 10 performance with the ball, 30 runs too many, and then the same thing with the bat once again. Guys, or starting our innings losing wicket again, and then we build something nicely, get a partnership going, and then wicket, and then build, and then wicket. So I feel like I'm saying the same things over and over again, and that's really, really frustrating. But for me at the moment, it's a confidence thing. The guys they're playing with low confidence and therefore making more mistakes.
Faf, are you disappointed with the performance of Lungi and Rabada? Lungi took 3 wickets today, but they've been expensive, especially with the new ball, they've not,
Yeah, the two of them has been, the last year, they've been brilliant for us. And they have been striking. KG has been bowling quick right through the season. I do feel Lungi's fitness is perhaps the thing that is his biggest challenge. He hasn't played a lot of cricket. His pace is probably a little bit down from where he used to be. So that's taking the effectiveness of him away. He's had his control, but hasn't played a lot of games in this World Cup. And I think his fitness is probably one big challenge that he would need to step up. And then KG, KG is trying, but I suppose the same thing with KG that a lot of the guys are struggling with at the moment is they haven't started the tournament well, and therefore your confidence has taken a bit of a hit. And it just rolls on. It's such a snowball effect that your performances, you open your eyes and you're doing the same thing again. So that will be something that KG will need to, he's a great bowler. He'll be able to fix that. His career has been one that's been probably just going up and up and up and up every time he's played for us. So this is probably his first stumbling block as a great fast bowler. So for him now it will be to how he responds, how he learns in this period, and how he makes sure he gets better. Because he has been great for us, but now he needs to take stock of where his bowling is and then try and get better as a bowler.
Faf, you speak about confidence and guys being low on confidence now. How do you go about fixing something like that? What did you try before this game or earlier in the tournament, and what hasn't worked?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. The real honest answer is it chips away at you. Trying very, very hard and then coming and playing another game, and then the same thing happens again, and you go back and you try and train hard again, and you make the same mistake again. It chips away at your confidence, it chips away at your ego, it chips away at you as a player. And as much as I can say or the coach can say, the responsibility lies with every player to try and make sure that he comes to the park and give everything. And if confidence is an issue, then you need to sort it out yourself. Everyone has played the game of cricket long enough to understand that you do go through highs and lows. The frustrating thing for us at the moment is we've got more people going through lows than highs right now, and therefore that's the team confidence is low. And from a batting point of view, there's a lot of guys low on runs. You need at least 3 out of your 5 guys firing in a tournament like this to be successful, and at the moment that's not happening. And as I said, from a bowling point of view as well, we've been lucky enough that our bowling unit has been strong for a long period of time and perhaps carried some of the batting units that we've had. But now the fact that on a day like today when they don't bowl well, then it makes it really tough for us to go and chase it down.
Obviously Kagiso and Lungi are very strong, but what impact did Dale's leaving have? Because, when he gets a wicket, he's so pumped up that he gets the rest of the bowling unit going.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Dale does, and KG to a degree as well. But I feel like I'm saying the same thing, but it's a confidence thing, When Dale is bowling well and he's pumped up, it's because he's at the top of his game, KG at the moment is feeling like he needs to do something, but it's not happening for him. And therefore, you're not seeing that same intensity when he bowls, or not bowls, when he celebrates a wicket, or when he's going through after the over back to his mark. Obviously Dale is a special bowler, and the fact that he's injured, we can't use that as an excuse. There's enough good bowlers in our team to still be better than what we did today. There was a lot of bad balls bowled on a wicket that if you just bowled really good lines and lengths, it was tough for the batters to score.
Faf, going forward, quite a few matches left for you in the tournament. So what will be South Africa's approach in the remainder of the tournament? And as a captain, how will you motivate the team for this?
Yeah, it's tough, huh? That's where it's lying at the moment. I've tried certainly my best to try and make sure that we can get stronger, trying to get better. And I thought before today, even though we are losing, I did feel that there was a upwards curve in the cricket that we were playing. We started doing more things right since the Afghanistan game. New Zealand game, we played a good game of cricket. One or two things perhaps you could have done a little bit better. But today, then taking a step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, that's not a great team. For me, we're sitting at that mediocre team at the moment because we're making the same mistakes all the time. So, yeah, I'll go back and do exactly the same as we did last week, trying to make sure that you have to keep trying. Unfortunately, you can't go away. Otherwise, because there is naturally in your team, you'll always have guys, when they're low in confidence, they'll get quiet and they will go away and into the backgrounds a little bit. But yeah, for me as a captain, that's not something I can do.
Faf, is this turning out to be the lowest point of your career as national captain?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I'm a very proud player and captain, and playing for South Africa means a lot for me. And the fact that the results that we're dishing out at the moment, it's really, really tough. And borderline today wasn't, it's becoming where it's a little bit embarrassing. We're trying, but it's just not good enough. And it's obviously I'm human as well, so it will keep chipping at me as well. Sorry about that. But I don't have an opportunity to go anywhere. It's important, as I said, it's important that the coach, myself, the senior players are the guys that needs to front up to this challenge. That's when your players need you the most. So right now, I need to be there for the other players as well.
Yeah. Faf, my name is Sayed Haider from Voice of Germany. This is a bitter moment for the South African cricket because South Africa was always in first 4-5 teams in all international tournaments. So we cannot understand why the players, when they play the league cricket in any part of the world, they play a vital role for the winning, and they are all playing very good. But when they play for the South African team, then they are not showing their actual performance. What is the reason behind?
Well, I think through the season they do that. We've had some great performances in the season. But naturally, as I said, what's happening at the moment is we started the tournament probably average poorly. And the spin-off of that has been that the guys, the knock-on effect of that is the guys are now, there's a lot of pressure on this team to do well. And the fact that every game you play, there's more pressure on you now because, there's a lot of people rightly and fairly criticizing this team because we're not playing the cricket that we should. And therefore, it makes it even more pressure on the players. And the fact that that a lot of the group is low in confidence, means that we aren't producing the results that we need. So I don't think it's necessarily a case of people playing in different leagues and doing well. I think it's just a case of the nature of this tournament specifically. You need to start well, you need your players in form, you need a few guys on a purple patch. And if you do have that, then hopefully from there you start playing some good cricket. If you look at all the other teams that's doing well, they've got guys in their team that's consistently doing that. And we haven't had, apart from Imi, we haven't had a purple patch guy in our team that just comes in every game and dishes out good performances. So as a whole, as a team, yeah, we've got a lot of guys very low in confidence at the moment.
I just wanted to go back to KG for a second. Are you happy with the way he's been managed from a workload perspective over the last 3-4 years? He's obviously bowled a hell of a lot of balls over the last 4 years. You happy that he was in optimum condition when he came to this tournament?
I don't think we'll ever have a perfect answer for that because he's probably bowling it too much. But we did try and get him not to go to the IPL, to try and stay and get fresh. That wasn't the case of, and then when he went there, we were like, let's try and get him back halfway through the IPL because it's important, not just for him, but a few other players. I mean, I spoke about it before the IPL even started, that it's important that we try and find space to rest our 3 format players because they play all the formats all the time and then IPL. So I don't think it's necessarily just the IPL, but it was important for a few guys to rest. And the fact that they didn't meant that they came into the tournament not fresh. That's not an excuse, that's just a fact. And KG is, you can see his pace is probably a little bit down from where he normally is. But that challenge is we're going to have as a team all the time. You can't, unfortunately, go back with the national side and say to KG, listen, you're going to rest for the next 2 series. He's such a big player for the team. It's a difficult thing to do. You need guys that can. You need 3 or 4 or 5 bowlers in the wings waiting, so you can have a bit of a rotation system. And I mean that was the plan with Anrich in the backup in the pipeline, but then he got injured as well. So therefore, all our pace is gone. And then there's so much responsibility on KG to carry that load of being the lone fast bowler.
Faf, you mentioned the batsmen being low in confidence and also the bowlers not performing up to expectations. In the last couple of years back home, you guys have been playing on pitches that have really assisted the bowlers a lot and have been very tough for guys to bat on. Do you feel maybe that's played a role here in that the bowlers have arrived and maybe have had it too easy back home and maybe the batsmen have had their confidence sort of irreparably damaged by how tough it's been back at home?
I think if this was a test championship, I would have said yes to that. But the fact that we've been playing on good wickets in one-day cricket at home doesn't change that. The one-day wickets at home is really good. The guys at home play on good pitches. They score runs back at home. Probably bar 1 or 2 players that carry a bit of low form into the tournament. I think as a if you look at Quinton, myself, Rassi over the last 2 years, there's been consistency with us with our one-day game and we're scoring big runs. But the fact that if you look at some of the other guys, there's probably a little bit of inexperience and a little bit of low in form. But as I said, one-day wickets, wherever you play in the world, are pretty similar. Sometimes there's a little bit of a new ball, but then it generally gets good. So, yeah, I don't think so.
Faf, you've received praise in the way that you've captained the side and obviously the way you've gone about your business. Are you worried that this World Cup perhaps taints your legacy and the legacy of Hashim and JP and David and some senior players? Is that something that you're worried about at all? Yeah,
I'll be lying if I say no. I think, as I said, as a player, I'm very proud, but I've always said that my most enjoyment that I get from the game playing for South Africa is captaining the side. And the fact that we are really underperforming, as I said, chips away at me as well. It's really important for me. I love captaining this team, and the fact that we're playing way, way below our potential is not something, as I said, it's not something that sits with me well. There's too much pride for me. And that's why, I mean, I'm trying as much as I can, but unfortunately not everything is in my hands. You know, if I could, I would get my wand out and get some runs on the table for our batters, but I can't, unfortunately. So it is a challenge, and my character is one that will try and fix as many problems as I can and try and control the areas that I can, but unfortunately I can't control anything. So yeah, I have to make sure that I put my head on my pillow at night, knowing that I've done everything in the build-up to that match, and then just trust the players to perform.
Is there anything in your... Can I go? Oh.
I'll answer one last one.
Is there anything in your captaincy that you think that you could have done differently, having looked back at not just this game?
No. As I said, for me the biggest thing is making sure that I can put my head on my pillow at night, knowing that I've done everything in the build-up to that week. And you know, as far as preparation, we've done as much as we can. The one area where, if I could have it differently, was probably having more players to rest before the tournament. But that's something that's not in my hands. So yeah, I can't do anything about that.
चाहे जो भी हो जाए, कुछ भी मुश्किल आ जाए, डट के लड़ेंगे सदा। हम हैं ना डरने वाले, हम हैं ना झुकने वाले, संग अपने सबकी दुआ है उसका असर, हमारी कदर करे है ये सारा जहां, है इसकी वजह हमारी लगन, रहेगी ये हमेशा।
Batting's improved, bowling's improved. How about the dropped catches? Why still so many dropped catches?
That's $1 million question. We train and we train and we train, and we've put in a massive amount of work. That's something we'll be exploring again in the next couple of days, because we can't be dropping that many catches and expect to beat teams getting into almost a knockout phase for us. So that's something we're going to have to keep working at and keep chipping at.
Hi. After winning today's match, where you see in World Cup Pakistan cricket team, and also any specific reason you didn't selected Shoaib Malik for today's match?
Yeah, I didn't hear the start of your question.
After winning today's match, where you see Pakistan team in World Cup?
Yeah, well, look, we're very firmly in the World Cup. We win our next 3 games, we will qualify. So we know that. Today I thought we got our bowling and batting spot on. Our problem is we haven't put 3 disciplines together yet in any game. So as the gentleman pointed out, we bowled well, we batted well, we didn't field well today. So when we put 3 disciplines together, we'll be exceptional. The closest we've got was when we beat England. And in terms of Shoaib, we went with Shoaib for 3. We gave him a good extended run. Thought Shadab, with his experience, I really thought he had a burn to come and end his ODI career in a very, very special way. It didn't pan out for him, but he's certainly tried. He's put in a tremendous amount of work, and we banked on having some experience at 6. But then today we shuffled it around, and I thought we got quite a nice balance.
Mickey, it was a year ago that you compared Babar Azam to Virat Kohli, and this tournament, a lot of former commentators have been praising his talent. But why is he, very often he's unable to convert the 50s into 100s?
No, Razia, look, I think, as I've always said, and Babar's an unbelievable player, and Babar will just get better and better and better. I think his game over the last year has improved considerably. He's going to be right up there as one of Pakistan's great batsmen, I think. But you know, Bub's played well today. He tried to force the pace just a little bit when it was probably needed, and got out. There's going to be other days where he follows through and makes it happen. So Bubs is the glue that sort of binds our batting together. If Bubba plays well, we invariably get to where we need to be, and we feel if we can get up to the 300s, we can defend that 8 out of 10 times.
Mickey, today's win, do you think it's the start of Pakistan's revival at this World Cup? And secondly, the way you've been dropping catches, do you think that you can beat a side like New Zealand with this kind of fielding?
I know we can beat New Zealand, and I mean, it's amazing what a difference a week makes. You know, our boys hurt this week. All of us hurt incredibly. Guys didn't sleep much, but they came to the training every day and put in order to try and turn it around. And today we got some just reward. We're alive and kicking without a doubt, and we play our best game. We can beat anybody, whether that's New Zealand, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, our remaining games, or England. We showed we put our 3 disciplines together. We're as good as any team in this competition.
Hey, Mickey.
Hey,
just wanted to ask a little bit about what you made of Amir in this tournament. He's been a very different Amir to maybe what people remember and what people think about, but he's been smart, hasn't he?
He's
been smart, hasn't he? A very smart kind of white ball bowler.
I think we've always said that, Oz, and whenever we've spoken, we've spoken about Amir being a very smart bowler. He backs his skills. His skills are excellent, and he works incredibly hard. The key today is he's got a little bit of pace back. He's bowling with a confidence that he didn't have. You know, and you guys were very quick to point out he had 5 wickets at a strike rate of 121 since Champions Trophy. And that waned, his confidence waned and waned and waned and waned. He's got that spring back in his step. He's starting to swing the ball again. He's starting to bowl with a little bit of extra pace. I see the glint in his eye, and that's really good. And that's just confidence. Our guys need to be built up all the time. The minute they're bashed, like they have been the last week, our guys don't respond to that in a very kind way. And hopefully we got a performance out today that vindicates the challenge that the talent the boys have in the team.
Coach, splendid knock by Haris, but one thing was very visible, that the stamina. He stepped in after 30th over, and after spending 60-70 minutes on crease, he was exhausted, and in last overs he couldn't make to the century as well. We have 3 wickets in hand, but in last 3 overs we only made 20 runs. What is the problem with the players?
Who's that, Harris?
Yeah.
Stamina Why can't we just write something positive about Harris?
But he was exhausted after 70-80 minutes.
He got 80 or 59 balls today.
But he couldn't make it.
Is that right, or did I miss something? I think why are you always talking negatively about our players? That today was one of the all-time brilliant innings that I've seen. Let's just write something positive for a change, please.
Team made you smile today. It's a big movement today. And we say in Pakistan that party start now. Abhi to party shuru hui.
So, you weren't saying that last Sunday.
So it is a big movement. But tell me, it is necessary for Pakistan team to lose first the matches and then they will on the victory path?
No, we don't do that by any design, I promise you. We try and win every game we play. We're trying to get that consistency better. You ask me that question every press conference. Yes, we're trying to get more and more consistent. We try that every day with our training and preparation. What I do know is the guys do when their backs are to the wall. We get some good performances out of them, and maybe I just think the guys were burnt last week. The guys were incredibly hurt by media, by public, by social media, and hopefully we got a proper reaction from them today that can just shut some people up for a little while.
Mickey, as a South African former Proteas coach, are you disappointed to see the state that the South African team is at the World Cup?
Well, let me say, I watch South Africa with a real fondness. South Africa are my second team, without a doubt, and it is sad for me. It's sad, and I don't think it's a team that's just. I listened to Faf's press conference, and it's a team that's just a little bit short of confidence. Every team goes through that. You know, I think now's the time just to try and get behind those boys. I think they're trying incredibly hard. I know what they're going through. I had a quick chat to Gibbo after the game. It's tough. It's really tough when they're there. They'll be going to training every day, hurting like any other team hurts, and trying to get it right. But I watch them with a lot of interest, and I do feel deeply disappointed for them at the moment.
So Mickey, as Faf said, you know, this doesn't happen overnight that your confidence just disappears. You know, it gets chipped away. What do you think has led to that? What are the causes of the confidence getting chipped away?
It happens so quick. You lose a game, you lose another game. It's a World Cup, media scrutiny, public expectation, and then you almost go into sort of survival mode. I mean, we've all been there. Sure, but last Sunday I wanted to commit suicide, but it's only one performance. We always keep telling our players, it's one performance. Who's going to stimulate us today? And I thought for us, the way Faka and Imam went out and got us a start, that sort of quietened the nerves down a little bit. That's all South Africa need. They need KG to run in and knock over three with the new ball early, or Quinny to go in and get a quick 50 just to get it going, and then they'll feed off that, and that'll turn around very, very quickly. You know, you always say you're always one performance. You're either hero or villain, and it only takes one performance to get back to where you need to be. And I'm confident that they can, because there's a hell of an amount of talent in that dressing room.
Mickey, you just talked about Amir's performance. What about Wahab? He was nowhere, not in the original squad. Now he's performing superbly.
Yeah, I'm really happy with Wahab's performances. They're outstanding, and you know, it's been well documented. We left Wahab out for reasons that were documented. The Wahab now is not the Wahab that was 2 years ago, and sometimes you've got to be cruel to be kind. We seeing a Wahab come back with a massive amount of determination, really fit, and ready to go, and he's producing for us. I couldn't be more happier. I couldn't be more happier that he's turning in these performances.
Hi, Mickey. Can you just give an insight into what Harris was going through, because he was left out of the playing 11, and because he came out seemingly with a point to prove, batted wonderfully today.
Yeah, look, I think I'd like to think he did, as I'd like to think that every player who gets left out comes back with a point to prove. He, we left him out after the West Indian game. Harry had played beautifully, and I think I've spoken to Oz about it before. Is that I think he's certainly in our top 3 batsmen, and he had a particularly good a lead up into it. He got 200s against Australia, albeit in different conditions, but he played exceptionally well. I think for Harry, there's other issues that need to be just continually worked at. But the Harris Sahel we got today was a Harris Sahel that played incredibly well. And I couldn't be more happier. And Harris, when he got left out, has worked unbelievably hard at his game. He's worked unbelievably hard at his fielding. He's worked unbelievably hard at on his fitness. And today he got some just reward for that, albeit that he couldn't run twos there at the end. But I thought he was outstanding. And I like seeing players come back like that. You know, that is what we want to try and produce. We don't want comfort zones in any international cricket team. You can't have comfort zones. Guys must know every time they come out. We talk a lot in our team about winning performances. So it's not about the 50 or the 80 that personally looks a good performance, but we don't win games. We're looking for guys that give us match-winning performances. Harris's 80 today was as good a match-winning performance as you'll ever see.
Toss was most important for today, and it will remain important the rest of 3 games. Toss.
Yeah, I think it could be if the weather stays as it's supposed to. I think you're going to see spin come more and more into the game. I think the wickets are going to be dry. I think we might see scores getting just a fraction higher. And that's the beauty about playing a World Cup in England is the conditions differ so much. So yeah, I think you're right. I think batting first is going to become an option. The vogue early in the tournament on the fresh wickets with a little bit of rain around was bowl first, aided seamers. But now I think squads are going to be tested more and more with their spinning ability and getting big runs on the board and then putting pressure on the chase.
Hi, Mickey. The next week or 10 days are going to be very crucial for Pakistan because you have just revived your campaign. So what will be the roadmap for the next few days? Like, what are the strategies or plans that you think about?
We'll travel tomorrow. So we go. I think we go to Birmingham tomorrow, and then we'll review the game on Tuesday. We'll top our players up. We won't. We've done all our work. That's why you have training camps and. When the weather was good, we got a lot of work into our players. So now in tournament, we can just top them up. So we'll review, we'll have our normal one-on-one meetings, we'll assess performances and look at areas we can improve on, and then we'll just top them up on Tuesday so that they always say fitter, faster, stronger, ready for Wednesday.
Hi Mickey, Hugh Turbeville here from the Cricketer magazine. You say that if you win the next 3 games you will qualify, but is that just optimism or am I missing something? Because if England win 2 and New Zealand 1...
Yeah, well, we're banking on other teams doing us a favour as well. It probably is, but we've got to win 3 games. That means we would have won 5, and we had the one rained out game, which was disappointing for us because I felt we'd just got some momentum. And then we were rained out. After beating England, we were rained out, and then we didn't play again for 8 days, which sort of just stopped momentum just a little bit for us, and we've had to find it again. But yeah, I'm hoping. All we can do is win our next 3 and then see how it pans out.
As a coach, how what is the challenge of a team? Coaching a team which is like playing like world beaters.
Coaching Pakistan team or coaching any team?
Pakistan team. One day they're playing like world beaters, and then the second day they just fall apart. So how challenging as a coach is it to sort of maintain equilibrium in this?
Yeah, I mean it's really challenging, but it's one of the as I've said numerous times, South Africa and Pakistan has been the nicest jobs I've ever had in my time, for different reasons, for different challenges. We're trying to create structure. We're trying to make the good and the bad closer together, if you like. We're trying to be more consistent. Those are challenges we live with. But what I can tell you about those boys is they are incredible human beings, first and foremost. They try 100% every time we go down to a training. They're incredibly passionate about the country they represent, and they're incredibly passionate about their cricket. They're an absolute pleasure to work with, and that was why it hurt us so much this last week as a national cricket team, because these boys are incredibly proud. Every time they go out and represent Pakistan, they're incredibly proud about it.
About a crisis of confidence in the side. How do you personally take the pressure and move ahead from here?
For me, there's no pressure. We came here, we wanted to win the World Cup, and now we're knocked out. It's a bitter pill to swallow. You have to go back and you have to stay positive and still have to have the ambition to want to win it. I feel as if we lost this one, it's not the end of the world. Life moves on. Disappointed, but as long as we can take, the learning out of our unsuccessful, try.
Do you still take a lot out of the 2014 World Cup that you won, under 19 World Cup?
Yes, confidence is high, and when you're involved in any winning team, there are a number of players who do well. there's always someone who's going to take you out of, you know, out of trouble. And I'm afraid we didn't have that this tournament. It's as simple as that. We need to perform as a team. We can't just have, you know, one or two guys who, you know, picking their hand up and not everyone does. It's not a question that we're not trying, but that's just the reality of it. We haven't really been playing as a team, even though we've been trying. Sometimes the harder you try, you never pull it off.
Okay, I just want to touch on Imran and just the effect that he has in a team, what you think of him as a teammate, because now he's the leading wicket taker for South Africa at a World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, Imi is the shining beam of inspiration. Clearly, when I look at it, because of the way he's played, the confidence that he's shown, and the way that he executed his skill against all the teams in different conditions. So he's shown us how it's done, and I think we can all take a leaf out of his book. You know, performing under pressure and having clear game plans, etc., etc. And I think he's just always had the hunger and the passion. But I think that what has served him well is his skill and his confidence. But it all starts with his hunger.
And how was that caught in bowled? He's 40 years old after all.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Imi tries really hard. And even when he's so meticulous with his eating, he always mixes his own smoothies and his own cereals, and he's so meticulous, and you can see that he tries hard. You know, at practice he always makes sure that he does his work, and for an old guy he's in the gym as well. So he's got the hunger at such an old age. So yeah, that's the epitome of it.
I'm going to tell him you called him an old guy.
He knows.
So, Cage, IPL, right? You come up against David Warner, Steve Smith. So, have you worked out plans when you are facing them? Now, say this World Cup with South Africa's last game being Australia.
I mean, we've played Australia quite a lot of times now, so we will have plans, you know, from playing against them. Every player has a feel of how they need to go about when they play, how to go about their game when they play against another player from another team, because we play against each other so many times, you know, whether it be in series or in T20 competitions around the world. So in the back of my mind we'll have a plan. In the back of our other bowlers' minds, they will have a plan, but we'll get together just to refresh, and we'll have to adapt to conditions, yeah, it's an exciting challenge.
Did you pick up anything from the IPL that you, like one aspect of their game that you'd like to target?
Not really, no. I think Warner's approach has been different. You know, he looks like he's taking his time, but at the same time he's just scored a run of ball 150. But no, not necessarily. I think a player will always have weaknesses, and we'll always look to target the weaknesses. And at the end of the day, it's a simple game. We just bowl top of off. We haven't been doing enough of that. Well, I haven't been.
So that's the plan then?
Yeah, top of off for the odd bouncer.
I like it.
There are a few players going to retire after this World Cup from South Africa. Where do you see your role in the team going forward?
My role, I think, having been in the side for a few years, I think now we're going to have to take leadership position, and we're going to have to guide a team that is not so experienced. So guys like myself, Quinton, who've played quite a lot, and David will still be there, and yeah, there's a couple of guys who are really putting their hands up also now. So we have to take the ownership and lead the team, because that's just the way it goes, right?
And is Faf a role model for you in that, in terms of the leadership?
Yeah, definitely. He's risen up towards the challenge like, you know, a real champion, like a real leader. So there's a lot of things that you can learn from him, and just the way he carries himself, and you know, he's experienced it, so he's a guy that's worthy of asking.